This is Get to Know the Royals. This week's episode, we have the men's golf head coach, Andy Serketich. Thank you so much for coming on today. You're in your fourth season with the with the men's golf team. Season just started. I know you're busy, so thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, appreciate the time. And yeah, you're right. Thank you.
So you're sort of a Queens lifer. You went to school at Queens, graduated 2007, team captain from the Queens men's golf program, right after you became an assistant coach. So tell me a little bit about what took you to Queens, and then that transition. Was there a point as a golfer, as a player, that you kind of thought, hey, I can become a coach after this?
Yeah. So grew up in Wisconsin, and to be honest, love basketball, probably my favorite sport. But kind of early on in high school, realized I wasn't gonna grow much more, so I wasn't probably gonna have much of a future in basketball. At that time, I've been playing golf for years and was naturally pretty good. Was playing some summer tournaments and stuff, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to dedicate more time and energy towards golf and see what that could lead to. I'm the oldest in my family, and neither of my parents went to college, didn't have any cousins who did. So I was kind of a trailblazer as far as trying to play an NCAA sport. And then for us, golf-wise, in Wisconsin, the season's about 6 months if you're lucky. So it was more so than, okay, trying to figure out if I can go somewhere south, have a chance to play more year-round, and was blessed to find Queens, was able to go to Queens, like you said. And then, yeah, once I graduated, at that time we had kind of a golf school program called Professional Golf Management. I was doing that as well. So I was like, well, I love golf. Might as well try to work in golf. And so for a year and a half, I was actually not at Queens. I was at two different golf courses working, but quickly found out I was like, well, I could do it, but I don't really want to work at a golf course right the next 30, 40 years. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I had a mentor who was still at Queens. And he's like, well, we're actually looking for an assistant coach. Why don't you toss your name in a hat? You could go to grad school and maybe buys you a couple years to figure out kind of what you want to do. And was fortunate enough to get that role. So I came back in fall of '08 and was an assistant coach ended up being about 6 years. Um, Obviously enjoyed my time, obviously, but at that point then kind of wanted to see what the corporate world was like. I had an MBA now, so I felt more equipped for a real job, if you will. And so I was like, well, let's see what that's like. For 3 years I was in Charlotte, but working at two different places, about a year and a half each, and then was fortunate enough to get the head coach position when it opened up in summer 17, and like you said, year 4, and we're cruising along.
Yeah, no, I mean that's awesome because you kind of had a chance to leave Queens for a little bit and then come back as the head coach, which is pretty cool. You guys won the SAC championship 2019 NCAA tournament appearance. Your guys' season just started this year, which is exciting, and this year going forward. I know it's been a long break, but it's kind of cool to have that balance between staying in golf and then being at a university and not just working at a golf course. What's kind of your favorite part about kind of coaching players? What's sort of your approach? I imagine takes a lot of patience to work with kids in golf.
Yeah.
You talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, good question. So my favorite parts of the job would probably be like the recruiting aspect, and then tournaments.
Yeah.
When we get a chance to go and actually compete, I'm pretty competitive in nature, and so I enjoy kind of building the team. And then once we get to go compete, those are the two parts I enjoy the most. Um, yeah. So
Yeah.
some of the day-to-day stuff, I mean, still do it, still enjoy it, but those are probably not my favorite aspects. I really enjoy the building a team, the relationship building, the recruiting. And then, yeah, when we get a chance to go compete, I'll learn more about our guys in those
Yeah.
situations than you do at practice day to day.
Yeah, I can imagine. Do you have any like distinct memories from your playing days of being in those big situations? You know, maybe on a tournament that you're playing well all the way through round three.
Yeah.
Anything stick out in your mind as a performer at Queens?
Yeah, there was a few like especially like freshman year, which was kind of odd, like just came in and was able to play quite a bit freshman or for all four, but especially freshman year. And I was in our 4 or 5 spot usually. And in conference tournament, first 2 days were pretty average. But I remember the last day got off to just a really good start. I buried the first 2 holes. I think I turned at like 3 under, which was the best I had done that year for sure. And it was the final round of conference, and we weren't. I guess we were trying to sneak up on the leader, but I think we were top 2 or 3, so we were having a good showing. One of my teammates actually won individually, Chris White. He played great the whole week. But I ended up shooting like 2 under 70, which is my low for the year. And I remember just feeling pretty good about that because it was a big spot and helped us finish second, which I think was one of the best finishes we had at that time or in a while. So that was pretty cool. Sophomore year at conference again, had a hole in one in either round 1 or round 2. And it was odd because that overlapped with a convocation, one of those all school kind of meeting things. And this was early days of cell phones. So I remember I think it would have been the first round I had a hole in one, and our athletic director at the time was there. She saw it and she went back and she was at convocation the next day. And so after round 2, I checked my phone and also had like 40 text messages, which was unheard of for me. And everybody's like, heard you had a hole in one, like congrats, like that's awesome. And I'm like, how did you hear about that? But she had said that at convocation. Obviously we weren't there. And so that was pretty cool just because I didn't normally get much limelight or anything like that. So it was kind of fun just to respond to some of those text messages for a little bit. Those are probably the top 2 just personally that stand out. We had some fun team stuff that was great. But yeah, personally, those are pretty cool moments for me.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it's cool because you get to, I would say, relive them, but you get to sort of walk your players through situations like that. When Taisuke Ono was going through his events in the summer, you got to kind of be there with him,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty cool. And I really appreciate you making some free time to come on today. This has been Andy Serketich, head men's golf coach. Thanks a lot. Really rooting for your guys this season, and excited to get a chance to talk to you.
Awesome, Mike. Thank you. Appreciate it.